being a lieutenant in the NYPD for 20 years. A lot of frozen yogurt, a lot of trips to Menchie's, snacks. You know. I got to tell you that they bring out the very best and the very worst in me. I become like this little kid. I become this bratty little self-centered, sometimes even fresh, like really fresh 9-year-old kid. I don't know why. Chris has had her hands full. She's not here today because she's not speaking to me. She's not here. I'm just kidding. No, she's here. She's not here because she's with the kids. But you know, she figured out that actually TJ and I, the eldest, are the same age because I'm 54 right now, and if you add 5 and 4, that's 9. And last year, when I was 53, he was 8, so that kind of works. And next year, when I'm 55, he'll be 10. And this is going to keep on going until he's 15, at which point then he'll probably be more mature than me. What's this about? What's this about, this, like, you know, same age, same maturity level? Why do I act out? Like, I feel like the last 22 days, I've been my highest self, but I don't think I really have been 100%. And part of me thinks that this has to do with that shadow self I've talked about in the past. Part of the unconscious mind, you know, that consists of repressed weaknesses and shortcomings. And so what this may look like in me has been roughhousing, and then getting really impatient, and then losing my temper, and then like, Chris will say to me, how come, you know, you're not being the disciplinarian? And of course they love you so much, and they're really mad at me because I'm being, you know, I won't say it, the B word in church, you know? You know, I'm like, but it's good come, bad come, you know, isn't it? You know? But I know that these are a little bit of my defects that come out, and I know that this is my humanness, this is my lower self, not my higher self. I say that because I know that it was my idea that they come for 3 weeks. Now, why do I do that? I think I do that because I want to be a people pleaser. I do that, I think, because there's a little bit of that addict in me that is more. 1 week is not enough. Let's do 2, let's do 3. No, let's do 4. 1 ice cream's not enough. 1 paintball thing is not enough. No, let's do go-karts. Now let's do go-karts twice. Oh, let's do 3 races, not 2 races. You know, so it's that more. And it's a little bit of the approval-seeking behavior, too. I don't like to be the disciplinarian because I want them to like me. That speaks to my own insecurity of who I am, of me, right? Because I want them to like me. I don't know, for the past 21 days, I'd like to think I did well overall with my thoughts and my behavior, but if I get really honest, I know that some of my behaviors were probably not the best that I could be. Now, the Hindu scriptures describe this thing called samskaras. And it's a Sanskrit term which just means karmic impressions. And these are karmic impressions in our personalities. These tendencies where we sort of like act out on those impressions are called vasanas. And I know that, you know, these things need to be worked on in order for us to become enlightened. So I know that I have a little boy vasana. I do. I have it. I was an only child for 9 years. My mother was very overprotective, and she didn't really let me play with a lot of kids. So when the kids come, it's like I have my friends, and I can play with them, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that. But when I act out in bad ways, these are all opportunities for me to polish. And so I think that I've had a lot of opportunities the last 22 days to polish and grow. In fact, yesterday I had to make a major amends to Chris. You know, because we don't want Chris to be the bad guy. We don't want Chris to be the disciplinarian. We don't want Chris to be the only adult. So I came home and I realized that, you know, wow, what I was doing, you know, and I sat down with her and I told her that. And, you know, the thing about making an amends when we say that is it's not just about I'm sorry. You know, there's like real beauty, I think, for me, in when I become aware of when I'm acting out on my defects. Like when I act out, when I fall a little short, it's okay to say you're sorry, but it's better to just change. It's great to have an awareness, but then you have to take action with it, you know? And so I really made up my mind that the next 2 days, yesterday, I was pretty good yesterday. And today and tomorrow, they leave tomorrow, and I'm gonna try to like take the awareness and my consciousness, and I'm gonna try to act a little better. So when I'm in that higher consciousness and that state of awareness, that I've fallen into the dark side, you know, and I'm going to give you an example because I can see that some of you are not convinced that I was that bad. So let me give you an example of what I mean. So TJ is sitting in the back seat and he says to me, they call me Chevy. Long story, tell you another time. But anyway, he says, Chevy, what? Not Chubby, but Chevy. Chevy, why aren't you using your signals? And, you know, your signals to turn, your directional signals. And I said, oh, because cops don't do that. You know, cops don't want you to know where you're going, where they're going. It's on a need-to-know basis. Now, that wasn't a good thing to say to this guy. Just wasn't a good thing to say. I'm just kidding. But, you know, it's not modeling good behavior. And there's a lot more, and we can talk after church, and I'll tell you, like, you know, more of the bad stuff that I did. But anyway, the other side of this is I get to play out my vasanas. I get to play these things out and shine awareness on them. And you know, I also know that this was a great opportunity for me to be like the inner child, you know, and act out my inner child stuff. And so shining some compassion and understanding on that part of myself, I think, is important. So yeah, I don't think that I did exactly 100% as good as I could have been, but I'm going to shine some love and light and compassion and not beat myself up. Not to let myself off the hook, but to lighten up a little bit. And I will do better next time. Maybe I'll tell her we should only do 2 weeks. Another insight, though, and another gift from having the kids here, besides all of the amazing other gifts that we got from having them with us, is an awareness of what in the Hindu scriptures we talk about raga and dvesha. And it's spelled R-A-G-A, raga, and dvesha, D-V-E-S-H-A. And this is a concept that's spoken of in the Hindu scriptures, and it means hatred and attachment. Hatred and attachment. Wherever there's pleasure, there's raga. And wherever there's pain, there's dvesha. And as we walk in this human embodiment, we're fooled into thinking that we're the ego self. That we think that we're this body. We think we're this embodiment. We think we're this personality. We think we're this intellect. But we really are actually the essence of spirit. And so what happens with the ego self is it sort of gets fooled into wanting things that give pleasure, Jackson's, ice cream, more of that. And we kind of like are avoiding pain. We don't like pain. Now the kids acted this out really clearly, and I caught on quickly. You know, falling into this trap, I found myself in this quicksand of wanting to give them more and more. So the more they wanted, the more I gave them. And like every time TJ or Nora or Owen would ask for something, I would just like do it. I would give it. I started as a bottomless pit, if you will. Like it never was satisfied. It was always more. And it was almost creating a little bit of a monster in them and me. Now this raga, dvesha, this hatred attachment thing, it assumes a lot of forms. So, you know, we like certain foods, and that's another thing. I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, my mother put the food there, and it was like, you ate it, and that was it. It was like, no choice. Would you like this, or would you like that? Would you like it with the crust, without the crust? Would you like it to... You ate it, and that was it. And if you didn't eat it, you went to bed really hungry. Certain clothing that they like, certain places that they dislike going to. And me too, you know, not just them. I like comfort and pleasure, and I dislike discomfort and pain. I don't know, can anybody relate to that? Right? So these last few days have been, I've been given in to every want and need, and this bottomless pit unfolded. But on a spiritual level, when I can step back, I realize, this might blow some people's minds, but I realize this is, everything that we see here is Maya, is an illusion anyway. Like, if my body and my mind and my intellect is not really who I am, like the true I am, the true nature of who I am is spirit, is essence, is consciousness, then it's all a hologram. And so the kids coming is a hologram in a hologram, is a play within a play. And its point and its purpose is to help me evolve, is to help my expansiveness and my consciousness. So I'm kind of glad that there was a couple of ouches in the last 22 days. I'm glad that I was able to see, wow, I'm a 54-year-old who is still seeking the approval of others, doesn't want to be the bad guy, wants to be liked, wants to be admired, wants to be adored. Wow. So I'm still there. So I still need some, need some growth in this area. I also see that I wanted to continue to give more, give more, give more, give more, give more. And what would have been wrong with just sitting and watching TV? So again, not to beat myself up, but to know that there's an awareness and a consciousness that I still need to be in the now moment. Another interesting thing is that there was this clinging to the future with the kids. And they kept on saying, I can't wait till tomorrow. I can't wait till Thursday when we do such and such. I can't wait for my mother to come on Monday. Oh, I don't want to leave on Monday. So future thinking. And I do that too. Like, I'm about the future and the past. You see, because I have been carrying now, like, any little bumps in the road that happen, I'm still there. I'm still thinking about it. I'm still beating myself up for it. Resentment with my own self. Not resentment with others, resenting myself. So that's past. I'm either in the past or I'm in the future. I'm not in the now. And in the now is where my essence lies. In the now is where my consciousness resides. It's all in the now, and in the now I have everything I need. And that's the point of eliminating raga and dvesha, hatred and attachment. When I'm in the now, I have everything I need. When I'm in the now, I'm not alone. Even in terms of health, wealth, any issue that's going on for me, if I'm in the now moment, I'm in happiness, I'm in freedom. So, listen, I want to think that the kids had the best summer vacation of their lives, and they probably have. We exposed them to a lot more than just paintball. I don't want you to walk away thinking that, but we did a gratitude circle, not every morning, but we tried. We exposed them to kirtan. I have TJ and Nora walking around saying, Swami Jyotirmayananda, that's a really cool name. And so, for me, I know I'm a work in progress. I also know I have a ton of growing up to do, seeing that I'm only 9. And my one consolation, not a cop-out really, because there's a lot of really gifts in all of this, is that Jesus said, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. So, I think I got that right.